tonight my thought is when the rubber hits the road. And I was watching this TikTok, like I said earlier, and it was a TikTok of the pit crew at a Formula One race getting the tyres on the car or whatever. And I went down this whole rabbit hole because they had these blankets kind of, or not blankets, but I guess it looked like a jacket almost, wrapped around the tyre, and it was really tight, and that was part of the process. It was like kind of a day in the life of a pit crew. I don't know why that was on my Discover feed, but it was. And it was wrapped fully around the tyre, so this tyre was totally encumbered by this jacket, and it was airtight. And then there was a tube coming out of the tyre, and what was going through that tube was essentially hot air, and that was from this direct source. So what you might not know is that these Formula One cars tour all over the world with shipping containers following them, full of tires wrapped in these jackets, getting fed hot air all the time. And the reason for that, and it's the same reason that you see cars do a lap or a few laps to warm up the tires before they start the race, and it's to get those tires hot so that they can grip to the road when they're at high speed, because when the tires are cold, they're not as pliable, so they don't go into the grooves of the road, and the grooves of the tires will just it's not going to grip to the road enough when they're moving really fast, and when they're trying to do high speed maneuvers and those kind of things. And the whole thing with these tires is and the jacket with these tires is that they are constantly under not just pressure from the jacket, but they are constantly getting fed something from the source, from hot air. They're constantly getting fed something so that they are at a temperature, and they actually load at the start of the race. They load these tires onto the car, still with the jacket on it. Okay, I don't know what it's officially called, but I'm going to call it a jacket. They load it on with the jacket still connected to the source onto the car when it's jacked up before it even hits the road, before it even starts its race. And I was watching this TikTok, and I just thought, wow, what an awesome picture for how we as creatives, or maybe even how we as Christians, are supposed to live. And I haven't got, this is just a TikTok thought, so take this as you will, whether you think it's heresy or whether you think it's simply a TikTok thought, or whether maybe it's something a little bit bigger than that. But I thought, man, how often do we take off the jacket? Or how often do we think, I don't need to be connected to the source at all times because right now I'm maybe not running my race, or right now I'm just with my mates, so I don't need to be connected to the source anymore. I don't need to be wrapped up, totally encumbered by the jacket that is the Holy Spirit or the influence that is God and His Word. Maybe I can just take that off right now because I'm not doing the whole Christian thing. Like when I'm in church, I'm warming up and I'm in the front row, I've got my hands up and all of that stuff. But right now I'm not doing the whole Christian thing. And we separate this thing. We separate kind of how we are from the source. And I thought that these tires, their whole purpose is to keep the driver on the road when the rubber hits the road. It's to keep him on track. It's to make sure that he can finish his race. He or she can finish their race at high speed, doing exactly what they're supposed to do in exactly the vehicle they're supposed to do it with, exactly the materials they're supposed to do it. And I think so often, like I said, we can be at home or at with friends in, wherever we might find ourselves and not need the jacket right now. And we don't need to be warming up right now. We're fine, okay? We're just rubber, and we're on the car and we're just doing our thing. But then what happens is the high speed of life happens, or maybe the sharp corner that we didn't anticipate was quite as sharp as we thought, or maybe the bump in the road, and all of a sudden, we're not hot enough to stay stuck. We're not hot enough to stay where we're supposed to be. And the thought is this, and the thing I actually felt even more challenged about when I was kind of unpacking this thought, is that those jackets stay on the tire even when they're on the car. The jackets are not just for preparation in the hidden place. They're not just, it's not just about being connected to the source, being warmed up, being ready to go in the hidden place so that when we hit the car and we're ready to hit the road, we're ready. You know what I mean? It's not just about that. Those tires stay wrapped up right until they drop the car and he rolls out to the what's it called? The front area. No, the starting line. They are wrapped up right until the rubber hits the road. They don't take the jacket off thinking, I'm about to hit the road, life's about to get good, I'm about to step into what I'm supposed to be, I'm about to step up on the platform and start worship leading, I'm about to have this awesome conversation with a friend. It's not, okay, I'll take the jacket off now, I'm ready. It's the rubbers, I need to be warming up right now. I need to be always influenced by the source. I need to be always under the pressure of the Holy Spirit. And I don't mean pressure as in like he's, I do actually mean it like he's challenging you to be something that is hotter than your natural state. That's what the Holy Spirit's supposed to do. They are under pressure. These jackets are wrapping these things tight, totally encumbered. There is not an ounce of air from outside the source that is allowed to touch those tires until the very moment they are sent into their purpose. And so that's the thought tonight. When the rubber hits the road, are you hot? Are you warm enough for the challenge? And, here's the reality. You're not going to be, because we're human. We don't have the whole, or maybe I'm going to unpack this thought a little bit more. I hadn't thought about it till just now. Maybe you feel like you haven't got the pit crew to keep the jacket on you. But are you even in the garage? Are you surrounded by other tires that are wrapped up in your shipping container, being shipped from place to place to place, ready for the race? Are you surrounding yourself with other people who are fed by the source at all times? Or are you exposing yourself to something that maybe you shouldn't be because you're not hot enough? Or maybe you don't want the pit crew to have a say in how you stay hot. I'm good. I don't need I'm hot enough. When you chuck me on the car, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. It's all good. Don't worry about me. I'm all good. Oh, that was a bit much, mate. Bit intense. I'm hot enough. It's fine. Well, here's the thing. You can't stay hot for long enough until you're on the car. And so my challenge to you this evening is to stay wrapped, to stay close by, and the other thing is there's 4 wheels on the car, correct? There's 4 wheels on the car and there's hundreds in the shipping containers waiting for their moment to be chucked on the car ready for their purpose. So my challenge is, if you find yourself on the car, if you find yourself in the garage, if you find yourself in the shipping container, stay wrapped. They are always wrapped up in the source that they're supposed to be wrapped in, ready to go for the purpose that they're supposed to fulfill, for the race that they're supposed to run. And, in Hebrews 12:2, it says, that we are called to run our race with perseverance, but it actually says, because we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, because we are surrounded by so many people who go before us, who go ahead of us, who are wrapped up, who are connected to the source, we run our race with perseverance. And so whatever race you find yourself running, whether it's cameras or whether it's in your school or whether it's at your workplace or with, friends that you're trying to minister to or friends that you're trying to gather yourself around or whatever, stay connected to that great cloud of witnesses. Stay connected to the source. Stay connected to being influenced by the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit alone. Stay wrapped up. Stay totally encumbered with the heat, with the presence of the living God. Let Him influence your decisions. Let Him heat you up so that when comes the time, you are warm enough for the race. You stay connected on the road that you're supposed to run on. You won't veer off course. You won't go into the kiddie litter or whatever they call it on the side, the stuff they crash into. The what? It's just pebbles. It's not kitty litter. It looks like kitty litter. So anyway, shut up, Siri. So that's my encouragement to you tonight, is to stay warm, stay wrapped up. Sound good? Siri, that is enough. She actually heard every word I said then. So good on you, Siri. She's just trying to stay connected to the source. You know what I mean? She's going out of her way to stay connected. She's trying to stay hot. So anyway, that's my TikTok thought tonight. Is that all right, everybody? Good stuff. Thanks, everyone.